So our story continues once more on the now destroyed land of Zeno. As before us, an awe-inspiring view of Goku and Vegeta.
Those are some nice
appears.
like shading
Each
right there. Like that's some
transformed
nice
into
shading.
their brand new states of being one, with an aura shimmering with the divine grace of angels, and the other seemingly consumed by an abyss, the very essence of the devil. With Goku in a cold stare commenting, "I've had enough of this. I can't keep letting those two run off into the sunset, getting stronger and stronger, while I stay
Goku
the
just
same.
turned into this form last time.
And I definitely
checked,
can't
right?
let Vegeta lose himself to that darkness within again." While amidst this tension, there would be a subtle shift in the air when we would look to the prince. The Lucif-controlled Vegeta, wearing a grin that seemed to hide a universe of malice, would just then giggle. "This Saiyan Dai, what a fascinating creature. Near unlimited skeletons in his closet. Maybe this is the
Oh, he's talking about
perfect
Vegeta?
vessel after all." But Goku, hearing this, would then glance towards Vegeta. Taking in the menacing aura surrounding him, he would comment with an air of grave concern. "That power from Vegeta, it's ridiculous. He's gone past Vegito. If he transforms one more time, I feel like we'll lose him completely." Vegeta, however, with his malicious grin broadening, casting an even more sinister shadow over his features, would then turn his gaze towards Goku. His eyes filled with mockery, and without missing a beat, he would comment, "Well, would you look at that? That other Saiyan has impressively and almost effortlessly tapped into your second stage of Seraphim. How truly embarrassing for you, Dai. I distinctly recall you claiming this profound technique was an exclusive knowledge only you could impart. Typical younger brother, ceaselessly attempting to dazzle me with falsehoods and tall tales. Silence!" The atmosphere, however, would palpably shift with Dai's exclamation in response. As the moments passed, it would become apparent that Dai, usually always so composed, would begin to lose that very reputation. The mockery and derision evident in Vegeta's voice, the taunts, and the unsaid implications seemed to sting deeper than expected. As he would then wrestle with his emotions, Dai's eyes, sharp and discerning, would fall on Vegeta's physique, lingering particularly on a distinct mark before he would let out, "That symbol on your chest. Never, not in my wildest imaginations, nor my darkest nightmares spanning a millennia, did I think I would be faced with its haunting presence once more. So now it begins.
Okay, so he must have seen
The
in their
time
first fight
until
like a
your
long time
return
ago.
is officially in its final hour, Lucif. So be it. What? Final hour? The God Killer's demeanor, however, would change sharply at the unexpected revelation from Dai. The weight of his words pressing heavily on him, causing his teeth to grit in a mix of anxiety and anger. His voice, a mix of confusion and rising concern, echoed as he fired back, questioning, "So what's happening then? First I was the ticking time bomb, now Vegeta is? What's going on? Surely two Lucifs can't be created, right?" Ticking time bomb, eh? Amidst the chaos and a whirlwind of emotions in the other warriors, though, Lucifer Vegeta would stand at a stop.
I mean, I think Lucifer Vegeta is actually kind of cool,
his
though, I'll be
demeanor
honest.
emanating an eerie calm. Slowly and deliberately, he would raise his hand in front of his face, and in the chilling silence, his voice, dripped with a mix of mockery and nostalgia, would then articulate, "Why must you find the worst way possible to describe my release, dear brother? There was a time I would have thought our long-awaited family reunion would be a beautiful moment, a once-in-a-lifetime occasion, like being struck by lightning." As suddenly, Vegeta would then close his fist tightly in front of his face, instantly causing Dai's attention to sharply shift upwards, an instinctive reaction to the subtle shifts he would sense. Casting his gaze upon the sky, he would notice the dramatic transformation. Previously calm and serene, the clouds would begin to congregate and darken ominously. The ambient.
Wait, is he actually gonna try to strike him with lightning? Wait, hold up.
And the distant, yet growing, rumble
Was
of
he gonna pull like a
thunder would
Zamasu or
begin
something, bro?
echoing, hinting at the tumultuous events set to unfold. And in a shocking twist, seemingly conjured from the very void of the sky, a titanic bolt of inky black lightning would lunge from the heavens, its singular malicious intent to strike down Dai. But relying on his heightened Seraphim reflexes, the Grand Priest would expertly sidestep the electric menace, barely avoiding its lethal touch. The land where it struck would bear its destructive wrath instead, leaving a singed mark in its presence. More of this! As Dai, now looking back, would scarcely have a moment to process before sensing the imminent danger of successive bolts, as behind him a volley of electric spears would be revealed, all menacingly converging onto his precise location.
And that's like 4 bolts of lightning, right?
But as expected, showcasing the pinnacle of angelic ability and grace, Dai would weave and dart through the barrage. His movements would be so swift and fluid that multiple after images would pepper the battlefield, confounding any observer. However, amidst the relentless onslaught, one particular bolt would stand out, its descent noticeably swifter and far more ferocious. Thought this would catch me off guard? Fool! But even this enhanced bolt wouldn't deter Dai. With a breathtaking display of speed and precision, he'd narrowly evade its searing touch. The ground, mere inches from his feet, violently marking its wrathful landing. Who's the fool?
Wait, that's
now? But unbelievably, in a shock turn of events, the mysterious black lightning bolt would reveal itself slowly to be none other than Vegeta disguised. His grin wide as he etches closer and closer to Dai. You get away from...
Whoa.
But before any more could be said, with a
he actually got a
violent
good punch
thrust
and,
of
well,
his
not a
foot,
good kick,
Lucifer
okay.
Vegeta would slam his foot straight into the stomach of Dai, paralyzing
That's
him in
crazy. He actually got a
pain
good
as
hit in.
He instantly spits
Okay.
out blood on impact. Get away from what, die? As Vegeta would continue forward, his arm tensed, prepped for the next move, leaving a brief pause as the tension would build until... This reunion has only just begun! And with elusive Vegeta now yelling at the top of his voice, the world seemed to narrow to this pivotal moment. Every sound and every whisper would be overshadowed by the hurtling force of Vegeta's approaching fist until...
Okay, so we go back.
Just as the crescendo of action would
GT.
reach its peak, the scene would shift, placing us in the thick of another battle. The narrative transferring its energy, drawing us into Goku's confrontation with GT. With a mastery mirroring Vegeta's, Goku's fist connects with GT, reshaping his features and causing a spray of blood from the commander's lips. The whirlwind of emotions and action continued.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie,
Showing
GT
no
should have been
eye
body
could
Goku.
waver from the unfolding
I ain't gonna say too
drama.
much about it, bro.
But the impact of the previous attack was evident, causing a streak across the vast expanse of the sky, a trail of energy and dust, marking the trajectory of the once mighty figure, now being thrown backwards. All the while Goku would just watch on carefully, remaining still. Eventually though, a rallying cry would break the relative silence, the atmosphere vibrating with raw power as the divine fusion warrior, showing his resilience, displayed both his angelic wings in all their glory. With a fierce determination, he utilizes the wind's force, harnessing it to halt his seemingly uncontrollable momentum. But with his eyes aflame and teeth gritted in an amalgamation of pain, defiance, and anger, he would thunder, "You inferior creature! How are you doing this?" However, Goku, contrasting the sheer display of power with an air of calmness, would hold his pose. His fist, the weapon that delivered the recent devastating blow, seemed to emanate an afterglow, its aura reminiscent of an ember in a fire's heart, soon letting out. So, this is what you and Dai did a while
Oh, his
ago.
fist is glowing right now? Okay, I couldn't
Second
tell. I
stage
mean,
of
obviously. I couldn't tell.
Seraphim. This isn't just like going from Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan 2. This is incredible. This is on a whole other level. My energy, it's rising every second. Don't you dare compare to your puny mortal transformations! This
He
mere
getting angry. He getting
articulation,
angry now.
however,
Okay.
of Goku's newfound power and his
Got veins in his
self-reflection
eyes.
was a fuse, igniting the volatile temper of GT. Every fiber of his being resonated with fury, evident in the surge of his power level, the strain visible as veins bulged and his muscles flexing until... I will end your mockery here and now! As suddenly, for the first time in a while, GT, forsaking his previously composed demeanor, would become an embodiment of fury and vengeance, descending rapidly towards Goku, reminiscent of a meteor. But not one to back down, Goku too would respond in kind. Harnessing his newfound strength and speed, he would ascend, the two forces on a collision course, destined to meet head-on, in a clash that would surely shake the very foundations of the universe.
Oh, no.
That didn't work out as well as you anticipated. Now did it? Yet, when the dust would eventually settle, and
I was not expecting that, bro. I was at least expecting a fish
it
class.
would become vividly clear
But no,
that
that did not
Goku
happen.
would still be the one to emerge superior. His palm,
There definitely was
with
a clash,
power and
alright,
precision
and
that
it
would
did not go in
befit
his favor,
prowess,
bro.
would meet GT's face, gently pressing into his cheek, molding it inwards, reminiscent of a forceful slap. And indeed, on closer inspection, as if the external humiliation wasn't enough, the deep-seated anger within GT would manifest. Above the inflamed cheek, where Goku's hand made contact, the very blood vessels in GT's eyes would vividly pulse, marking the escalation of his fury for the Saiyan. And with what looks like a playful toss, Goku would then launch the Royal Commander away. A smile on his face now as he giggles. You're pretty delicate these days, aren't you, GT? I think it's best I hold you in one place.
Okay, I know that
As
ability.
suddenly, in a
That's the
familiar
God
scene to
bind, isn't
viewers
it?
of the
That he used
Broly
against
League,
Broly? Yeah.
Goku would begin rotating his hands and fingers in a circular motion, getting ready for his signature God Bind. And as GT's body would then freeze in place as a result, the Royal Commander's body would begin to tremble as he realizes what is going on, mumbling, "My body? What mortal trickery is this?" But as GT would remain vulnerable, Goku in the distance would begin flying over with speed, much to the Divine Angel's surprise. But as Goku would arrive, it would seemingly not be with violence, as with typical Saiyan cockiness, he would just smirk and begin lifting two fingers towards GT's forehead until...
Oh, nah.
With a disrespectful flick
wait,
of his
what?
fingers on his frozen foe,
Oh,
Goku
nah. He basically
would
flicked him
smack
across
the
the
forehead
forehead?
of the
Oh,
angel,
nah.
sending his head snapping back. How dare you! You'll pay for this insolence, Son Goku! Leaving GT to then grab his forehead
he did say his
instinctively
name,
from
or at
the
least he said
pain,
his name and not
the
Morgan.
red bruise would begin to form. Hey, you said my name.
Yeah, see, he know. Yeah, he
Here
knows.
I thought all you could say was mortar. But the goading and disrespect would cease to
See, Goku
end
knows
on
what
the
I'm talking
Saiyan
about. He
side,
knows.
as placing his hands on his hips and leaning over with a smile, Goku would then peer at GT as if he were hopeless. But as GT's fury would build, eventually, a turning point would occur from within. As suddenly screaming a screeching roar that causes visible sound vibrations to burst forward, GT would break free from the God Bind through force alone, powering up intensely. And as his energy would flux, growing more and more around his figure, pushing back intense wind and pressure, Goku would just be watching, still calm with his hands on his hips, until... instantly, something would be noticed by Goku. And make making a quick getaway in the opposite direction, Goku would immediately fly off, as from GT's vibrant aura, suddenly, the energy would split up into several powerful beams, which made chase more the same. But as Goku would change direction in an effort to escape, he would notice that shockingly, the beams of energy would change trajectory instantly also, following his every move. Annoying Goku as he would look back and briefly comment, "Looks like he won't be going down as easily as I thought. Good. I want a little practice before die." As meanwhile, back with the one true devil and angel, Dai and Lucif would be engaged in their own battle, each landing a powerful punch on each other. Dai on Vegeta's face, and Vegeta with a transformed arm into the angel's guard. And in the air, unleashing shockwaves with every strike.
Yeah, it's crazy because Vegito,
hand-to-hand combat
Vegito's just like looking. He's just
continue.
like, alright.
All the while,
that's
the
crazy.
boldest head in the
This is the
distance
Vegeta
would
show
be
now.
watching on. Ooh. Of course, being revealed to be the Omni King, Zeno, who seems utterly enthralled by the sight, his small fist trembling as if the excitement of the battle would begin to affect his own heartbeat. And with a creeping small smile, the toddler god would then just let out, "Go, Dai! Go!" As it seems finally, the Omni King would shift his loyalties to his longtime angel attendant. But back on the battlefield, the fight would take to the ground, with Vegeta slamming his fist into the hard surface of the floor as Dai would just move perfectly out of the way. Only for the one true angel to then mysteriously place his hand on the arm of the confused Vegeta until... With a swift and perfect motion, Dai would pull the demon to slam his face onto the ground with a crash, as he holds his arm in an impressive arm lock. But things would not end there, as suddenly using the cyan diamond on his forehead once more, devil energy from Vegeta would once again begin seeping into Dai's body, just like it did with Vegito, and this time without any energy beams being present. Immediately shocking the demonic prince, as observing, still unable to break free from the arm lock, he would just shout, "My energy! He's taking it! How? Don't tell me! He can do it just from touch now also!"
Oh, he's taking his energy? Okay.
What are you doing? But from within Vegeta, Lucif himself would have something to say too, as now furious and somewhat panicking, the devil would yell, "Get up, you damn ape! The longer you rest on your laurels, the more of my precious energy he consumes! Hurry and get up!" But as we peer closer into Vegeta's face, the exhaustion of the battle, his newfound form, and Dai's absorption would all start to become clear, as he would just mutter, "You clown! I can't!" Get off of him!
Okay, there's Vegito. Okay.
But luckily for Vegeta,
Nice.
he wouldn't need to after all. As like a guardian angel, or demon should I say, Ultra Vegito would then arrive like a rocket, planting his foot onto the chest of Dai, who winces in shock. Sending the angel careering backwards, saving Vegeta and stopping the energy drain in the process. But not allowing himself to be moved away too far, Dai would be quick to stamp his feet and hands into the ground as he skids backwards to an eventual stop. About time you did something, clown! Leaving Lucif Vegeta now to raise himself up, but curiously, sounding more and more like the prince again.
He is sweating hard.
But as Vegeta would look down, shock would run through his body, as something he would be seeing would completely change everything. What happened? As shockingly, once the scene would zoom out, we would all see
I'm guessing since he
the
absorbed his
stars
energy,
change. As now
I
on
guess
his right side,
it got rid of some of the
darkness
demon
of
power, I
Lucif
assume, right?
would have almost completely disappeared, exposing Vegeta's natural Saiyan side once more. And looking down in disbelief, Vegeta would comment, I'm back! What do you mean you're back? Leaving Vegito, who also stands in disbelief, to question, what's happened to your new form? Did you manage to fight back against Lucif yourself? If you did, you should be able to still retain his powers. But looking at his now trembling hand, Vegeta would then just admit, no, this isn't me, Vegito. That damn priest, I think he's responsible. He absorbed all the energy that was once here. As in the distance,
That's
the
crazy,
accused
bro.
perpetrator Dai would slowly begin raising his head until... More!
Whoa!
I need more! With a truly horrific and manic face, Dai would reveal on his countenance now a red Seraphim right eye. The power of Lucif polluting his own as he
Oh,
too
dude, that
now
looks crazy right here.
begins to
What
become
the?
power hungry, increasing in energy significantly. And in an unleashing of pure power, now coated in the signature black lightning of Vegito and Lucif, the one true angel would now reveal his ascension in full view. As just like he had said last chapter, he begins seamlessly converting back the power of the fallen angel, known as the devil, back into divine energy. As he would yell, "How delicious, dear brother! So, this is the power that drove you to madness. I don't blame you. Die!" This phenomenon leaving both Vegeta and Vegito bewildered, staring wide-eyed now as their foe, who was already stronger than them, had just become even stronger, while their power waned, with the prince muttering, "So what now? What's plan B? Fuse with me?" To which Vegito mysteriously would only reply with gritted teeth, "Not yet. If he wants to steal our power, then I'll find a way to do it back." And with those words said, Elsewhere, Goku would continue to dodge the tracking energy beams of GT, with them increasingly getting faster and more erratic, with him commenting, "Damn it! These things won't let up. I swear, there's more now than before. What's going... Huh?" But his suspicions would soon be proven right, and in dramatic fashion, as blocking his path in front would now be revealed to be a flurry of more energy beams. And with him now surrounded, there would be nowhere to hide. No! Leaving Seraphim Goku's face to be lost in the light of panic, as with wide eyes, he just watches on for imminent impact. And just like that, in a dark, smoky,
did GT
and
get him?
powerful explosion expected of the all-powerful Roll Commander's energy, our hero would be struck perfectly by all beams simultaneously. Kakarot! What now? Causing an instant reaction of concern from Vegito, as if he were a father, as the shockwaves of the blast is heard from miles on end. In the wake though, GT, smiling so hard, veins would begin to appear on his skull, would just giggle out, "Poor misguided mortal. You believe in the false fallacies of your leader, the God Killer, so much you truly believe painting a seraphim triangle on your forehead would be enough to match up with the real deal. How wrong you were, mortal." But as GT would say this,
Bro, he said,
as the dust
he said he
would
painted
dissipate,
it on
a
his head.
body
Bro.
would be
What?
left behind, but the shadow would
Bro,
not.
I didn't see a
be
paintbrush, man. I didn't see
Goku
that.
may have survived, but perhaps completely disfigured. But shockingly, all
Oh, wait,
would
did he
be
use
proven
his
wrong,
angel wings to
as
protect
the
them? Oh, that's kind of
legendary
cool.
Saiyan
Okay.
Goku would then be seen instead with his angel wings draped around him from
I like
either
that, man. That's
side,
cool. That's cool.
seemingly having protected him from all damage, as with a cold stare, he would just say, "The only one misguided are you and the rest of the gods that look down on us." What? Stunning the Roll Commander.
I know you guys hear the
as he
music in the
just
background.
looks on
Definitely,
unblinking
that's a
with
nice
wide
OST,
eyes,
man.
not able to understand how this Saiyan would have as much mastery of the angel techniques and appendages as he does, as he would just briefly mutter, You cannot be allowed to exist! You are not meant to live! As now losing his mind, giving everything he has, GT decides that a mortal as strong as Goku, wielding the angel abilities as if they were his own, can no longer endure amongst the other mortals. And in the interest of not causing more mortals to rise up in Goku's footsteps, GT would rush straight forward at a speed towards the still wrapped up Goku, ready to end him. But as his hand would reach out and finally come close to Goku, in the very last moment, like a cocoon releasing a beautiful butterfly, Goku would spread his wings instantaneously, each wing now glowing a bright white and curiously only growing brighter by the second. As with a cold stare, Seraphim Goku would then look deep into GT's shocked countenance and let out Solar Wings! What the? As unbelievable.
So I'm assuming it's like solar flare.
Solar flare of Tien Shinhan with his angelic white wings, Goku would unleash a solar blitz from his wingspan itself, directly in front of the Royal Commander. Leaving GT to be lost completely in the light, as his previously wide eyes have no time at all to blink before being pierced by the retina damaging rays.
Okay.
You coward! In the aftermath of the blinding rays, leaving GT now covering his eyes, struggling to even see a thing anymore as his rage and frustration builds. But as he would begin opening slowly his wincing eyes, they would burst forth once more, as even with his damaged eyesight, he would be able to see the shocking sight now in
Is it gonna be that big dragon? Oh, let me see.
This ends here! As Seraphim Goku would now be seen right in front of the Royal Commander, with his arm already pulled back and ready to unleash untold damage, but not with just any ordinary punch.
Yep, I had a feeling it's gonna be a dragon fist.
Behind Goku, roaring with a beastly presence, Goku would move forward screaming, his fist ablaze with a cyan aura as he moves in closer and closer towards a totally vulnerable and paralyzed in fear GT, whose face remains firmly targeted until Ultra Dragon Fist! With a strike to end all strikes, Goku smashes straight into the left side of GT's face, melting it inwards instantly, as it almost seems like Dai loses half of his head, as blood would spurt out from his pouted lips, and he would let out a gurgled scream in pain. Ultimately,
damn, he's
however,
spinning.
the force Goku would strike with would be so powerful, the laws of physics would break, as GT
Yeah, he's
would not
literally
be
spinning
sent
in
flying
circles,
off,
bro.
but instead send into a rapid spin of unbelievable speed of rotation. Moving so fast, a tornado could be formed, while to the naked eye, his body would seem frozen still. While meanwhile, Seraphim Goku would just land on the ground, his arms mysteriously crossed below, as at first he doesn't
Is he gonna do a meteor explosion like
until,
Vegeta? Or
with a hushed breath, as if channeling his energy into using yet another new technique for the Saiyan, he would let out Meteor Explosion!
yep, I had a feeling, bro. I just
As
knew.
with an almighty
The way his arms were
roar,
placed, bro, I
Goku
just
would
knew,
then
bro.
Suddenly unleash
knew.
the signature move of Vegeta, channeling the fused warrior's ultimate attack, combined with his own incredible Seraphim energy, causing his whole body to now unleash a powerful current of pure energy before. With an ungodly amount of energy, a beam of pure cyan Seraphim power would explode out of the ground and thin air to shoot straight upwards at GT. the end result being GT's entire being now becoming a blur of light as his body stretches from the sheer pull of the attack from below, throwing him into the sky by force as every cell of his body is destructively broken down by the power of Son Goku. Eventually being shot into what seems like the stratosphere, leaving just the twinkle of a star as his last remnant. But in due time, after a few minutes, like a cannonball, the body of GT would make its way back down for a crash. His body completely wrecked with his arms,
he is done.
legs,
he is done for.
and angel wings spread out. GT would finally be defeated. And in what seems like his final breaths, with his final bit of energy, he would mumble, "Son Goku, I see now what Lord Zeno sees in you." But as GT would make peace, a foot would land near his head. It would seem
That's Vegito,
Son
right?
Goku would not be finished yet. Seems we haven't been introduced yet, GT. No, in a shocking twist, it would not be Son Goku who would stand before the defeated angel.
So I'm assuming he's gonna absorb him.
Who, looking down at the broken warrior like a drooling hyena ready to feast, would then just ominously comment, "Vegeta, I think I just found our plan B."
There you guys have it, bro. That was a good episode, man. That was a good, fun episode. I'm gonna rate this one a solid 9 out of 10. To be honest with you, it was nice. It was fun. Definitely some talking here and there, but hey, man, that's needed for a good story, man. That's always needed. So I definitely have fun watching this. A lot of unexpected stuff as well. So let's just get on straight to the next one. Let's just get straight to it.
What a delicious sight! So our story continues with Ultra Vegito standing menacingly over the body of the brutally beaten and covered in damage GT, who had just been beaten convincingly by the newly transformed Seraphim Goku, with the downed angel noticing the demonic Saiyan and just muttering, "You God killer!"
Damn. You gotta be
We meet again, Z. As now looking down like a true reincarnation of the devil, practically drooling with excitement, Vegito, looking down with a seraphim and demon eye, would let out, "It's a damn shame I didn't get to have my revenge in the end. But at the very least, you served your purpose of allowing that clown to ascend. And for that, you get the ultimate reward of becoming part of greatness. Just tell me though, Royal
I guess that's better than
Commander,
dying, I guess.
how exactly does it feel to lose to the same mortal you so look down upon in the Tournament of Power?" But hearing this, GT's body would tremble uncontrollably, either from his rage building or from his last attempt to speak with what little energy he has left, as he would mumble, "I may have been defeated by a mortal, but that mortal was not you. Son Goku is not like you and the other one. He is different, and he will save us.
Oh wait, what? He's gonna save us? What
But
does that mean?
Vegito, seemingly not even caring for the final words of the legendary angel, would just turn his attention to his side. As if on cue, Son Goku would descend from the skies and arrive with a thud, quickly turning his head to the God Killer and saying, "I finally did it, Vegito. I've done it. GT won't be getting up anytime soon. I can sense his energy is near zero. So what now? Are you going to absorb him? And what do I do now?" Absorb him. Yes, exactly that. But perhaps not in the way you expect. Leaving Vegito with a devious smirk while he continues to look down at GT, as unable to contain his bloodlust to devour him, he would then continue, "For now, Kakarot, you go back up Vegeta. He won't be enough to handle that midget on his own."
Yeah, he's still calling him that, even though he's taller than Vegeta at this point.
Huh? What's that? But suddenly, just as Dai would be mentioned derogatorily, something alarming and fast approaching would be picked up by Goku, bursting open the eyes of the Seraphim Saiyan as a small sweat drop begins to precipitate from the pressure alone. Get away from my student! No!
Whoa.
As
Yo, look at his tongue,
unbelievably,
dude. What the
having
heck?
noticed from afar the state of the royal commander, Dai,
He looks
with his
absolutely
most
insane.
crazed and scarily vicious look of the entire series, would begin shooting down at untold speeds towards Vegito and Goku. Both his now red and cyan Seraphim eyes squinted and targeted with precision, as his face shows more similarities to his elder brother Lucifer than a supposed one true angel. And as the Grand Priest would pile drive down the battlefield at full force, leaving a trail of destruction, simultaneously, all three Saiyans, Vegito, Goku, and Vegeta, would let out a voice of shock, not expecting the sudden move from the priest. Damn it, he's fast! But the prince, who was supposed to be engaged in battle and watching the father of all angels, would be the most annoyed, marveling at the instantaneous speed, however, before giving chase, Vegeta would give his all to try and interrupt, blasting off himself in pursuit of Dai.
The only absorption will be done by me from now on!
What? But it soon would be seen that there would be little point anyway, as in a flash, a literal nanosecond, Dai would reach the God Killer, his face getting closer and closer to Vegito until finally, in touching distance, as uncharacteristically, Vegito, seemingly stunned, would just remain motionless and silent until... What? You... Kakarot! That is until in a flash of
Okay,
his
wait,
own,
hold up.
a
Goku?
divine one at that.
Yeah, Goku's not scared,
Seraphim
okay.
Son Goku would instantly appear, blocking the Grand Priest's path. His dual angel wings spread afar and wide on either side, as if forming a protective barrier for the God Killer. as even Vegito looks on stunned at the young Saiyan's confidence. Die! And with one of the coldest looks ever witnessed from Goku in
like I said, the shading is really nice. I really do like
with
this.
A stare of pure conviction, the Seraphim Saiyan would lock divine eyes with the priest and let out. So it's my turn. It feels weird to have come this far with a technique that supposedly came straight from you. I hope it lives up to your standards. It did for GT at least. While the Grand Priest, with an equally stone-faced look, would then just reply with a hint of disgust. Son Goku. Triggering that incomplete, sorry excuse for Ultra Instinct in front of the former gods was not enough for you. So now, you choose to embarrass yourself further with a counterfeit Seraphim form too. You Saiyans have no shame. And how you defeated my greatest student, I will not know. But I'm sure you will allow me to find out. What a dream this must be for Lord Zeno.
Yeah.
Wow! Son Goku! And just as predicted by his angel attendant, at that very moment, Zeno would scream to the top of his lungs. His eyes.
I mean, this is a crazy show, I'll be honest.
And
it's a long fight.
Finally witnesses his favorite mortal challenge his favorite deity. As Zeno would yell, "Die! Goku! Who do I pick? This is the best!" But as the Omni King would deal with his own personal conundrum, Goku, with a smirk, ecstatic himself too, would drop into fighting stance and let out. I guessed this would get Zen-chan pretty excited. But I don't think anyone's been looking forward to this more than me. It's finally time. Let's see who's mastered the Seraphim more. Don't hold back. Mastered my own technique. But this typical Saiyan cockiness would only serve to just rub Dai the wrong way, as he immediately loses interest in the God Killer behind Goku, and now stares deeply into the Earth Saiyan's eyes and replies, "Son Goku, mark my words, as punishment for using such techniques without my permission, I will have those eyes of yours ripped out." They can serve as Lord Zeno's new plaything. And from his
that sounds
hands,
disgusting, dude.
you can watch eternally as we gods continue our reign, annihilating petulant mortals such as yourself. Just like the God Killer, I will make sure you suffer an unimaginable fate worse than even destruction. Get ready, Son Goku! As instantly, without a moment more to spare, Seraphim Goku and the master of all angel techniques would then rush straight at each other, spit eviscerating from Dai's mouth as if he had been waiting for this moment to slaughter Zeno's obsession for years now. And in a flash, just before impact, as though somehow connected and with minds of their own, the Seraphim eyes of the two angelic warriors would react with one another, letting off trails of energy as they flash, almost as if the two warriors had entered the zone. And on an immediate impact, their hands would connect and clench together, with Dai yelling, "For far too long, I have heard Lord Zeno utter your name. Son Goku this, Son Goku that. It will be a prize worthy of my turmoil to destroy you now, God Killer!" While Goku would just respond, "Listen, it's not my fault Zenchan likes me. But if that's really what will make you give it your all against me, then go for it!" But just as Goku would think the battle was heating up, before his eyes, Dai would vanish, separating his grip from Goku. What? But only for the deity to return, attempting a sneaky attack from behind. But with the new level of Seraphim Goku had now achieved, he too would be able to surprise the angel with his speed and reaction. Found me already, huh? But such formalities would be nothing in the face of Dai, as instantly vanishing and appearing at the same time and location as Goku, Dai would be behind again, with his punch already fully locked and loaded. No escape would be worth it this time. And so, with
it's
his
crazy
hand
because
dealt,
Dai is like
Goku
technically
would
more
just
powerful than he
retaliate,
just was because he
flexing and
absorbed
launching a
Lucy's
punch
power.
of his
So
own,
that's crazy.
initiating a clash of heavenly fists that sends shockwaves through the cosmos and on the instant of their impact. But this initial clash would only be the start of many to come, as all over the sky, ground, and battlefield of Zeno's realm, the Grand Priest and Seraphim Goku would clash fists, feet, and more, each for thunderous impacts and explosive aftermath. And curiously, somehow, Goku would almost seem on par with the legendary father of angels, but perhaps not for too much longer. As eventually, being pushed back simultaneously by one of their final collisions, both Goku and Dai would be sent skidding across the ground backwards, engraving their fingers into the concrete floor to lessen their momentum. Only for both, like twin brothers, to vanish instantaneously once more. Dai! Son Goku! But as they would reappear, as if in tune with each other, neither would attack, but instead, slowly their bodies, as if in slow motion, would move past each other, encircling one another, their holy eyes deadlocked on one another, each aiming to see a hint of weakness, or a chink in the all-seeing armor of their seraphim eyes. Enough of this, Dai! Is that all you can do? But things would soon pick
Dude,
up.
do you really want to
as their
ask that
speed
question,
would
bro?
increase, and Goku's frustrations over not getting the battle he desired would begin to show. All in good time, Saiyan! As Dai on the chase, now closing in, would mysteriously summon two concentrated balls of white energy, each on the tips of his fingers, both clearly and decisively aimed at the vital points of the winged Son Goku. And with rage and intention from these spheres, multiple energy beams, far deadlier than any death beam before it, would fire off rapidly at Goku. But even with the extremely short distance between them, the years of training with Whis and his practice against GT would allow Seraphim Goku to dodge perfectly every attack, and with a variety of maneuvers and body-twisting dodges. But somehow, even with the failed attempt, Dai, with his dual-colored eyes, would sport a devious smirk and laughter, observing Goku's movements and letting out... Impressive, Son Goku! Unlocking the Seraphim eyes is one thing, but combining it with moves like those, it still surprises me. I can't imagine Whis or Miras taught you that. So I guess I will have to face never knowing how.
Since you will be dying in this grave!
As suddenly, jumping forward, swiping both of his arms behind him, a giant ball of cyan energy would instantly emerge, surrounded also in the black lightning that presumably comes from his absorption of lucid.
I'm assuming Vegito's absorbing what's his name right now, right?
And as Dai would reach the stunned Goku in slow motion, he would seem like a pro basketball player, ready to dunk the slam of all slams directly on the Saiyan. Where did that come from? And frozen still, as Goku's face is brightened by the priest's all-encompassing attack, he would just mutter, "How do I get away? I'll need to... You need to die!" But unwilling to allow any more escapes, with extreme speed, Dai would throw the gigantic ball of energy like a sniper's bullet down straight on Goku. No! And unfortunately, this speed and ferocity at this distance would be too much for even the Seraphim Saiyan. As lost in the luminescence, Goku would just give off a terrified scream before... Suddenly, another foot would crash
that's Vegeta?
on the ground beside Goku. Could it be Vegito? But ultimately, whoever it was doesn't seem to have made much of an effect, as in a devastating explosion that rocks the very foundation of the realm, both figures, including Son Goku, are caught within an ever-rising plume of pure energy that destroys all in its path. And in its wake, things wouldn't look much better for our hero, as with the dark tide of smoke and debris rising with the searing heat left by the blast, nothing would be visible at first. Huh? Wait a second! That would be until the wide eyes of Goku would peek through, less damaged and more shocked.
Yeah, so the other would have done a lot of damage, or he would have been dead
very
if
little
it actually
damage,
hit him.
if
That's
any
crazy.
at all, would be suffered by the Seraphim Saiyan, leading him to ponder what on earth had even happened until... You okay there, clown? Vegeta! Until revealed as the second pair of feet would actually be the demonic Prince Vegeta. His hands molded together once more to create some form of makeshift baseball glove, using it to completely protect both him
That's
and
a baseball
Goku
glove,
from
bro.
the brunt of the damage.
Looks like some big
As
hands or
Goku,
something. Okay.
with a gleeful look of excitement, sensing it was Vegeta who was talking to and not Lucifer, would let out. So, I guess you're back if you're helping me, huh? That's the Vegeta I know. To which Vegeta would just respond with a smirk. Don't get lost in your fairy tales, Kakarot. I just couldn't stand watching you having all the fun. That's all. Insolent cockroaches! But seething with anger in the distance, his blood boiling so much it could burn human flesh, Dai's veins would begin to pulsate.
Wait,
Rage would build within him, seeing the sight of Vegeta interfere once again. As with a deep voice, he would declare, "You creatures never give up! If this battle is to go anywhere, I must get rid of you one by one! Good luck with that!" As Vegeta, not fearing at all the priest's threats, would just begin remutating his deformed shield arm back into place, while Goku, looking to him, would strategize. So what's the plan? I'm finally done with my guy. Should we fight how we practiced? To which Vegeta would reply, "Fool! This guy isn't someone those little tricks would work on. We're on a different level now. Act like it!" Different level? Who do you mortals think you are? But just as Vegeta's arm would finish reforming, from behind, Dai would appear, unbeknownst to both Saiyans before. In one tight grip, almost crushing their necks, Dai would grab onto both Goku and Vegeta from behind. A sinister look on his countenance as he would yell, "I think you two need to be reacquainted with each other after so much time apart. Allow me to help!" As instantly, with no remorse, the Grand Priest would then swing the two Saiyans like they were lifeless ragdolls, immediately slamming their skulls together face first, sending a palpable crunch through the air as their bones crack. Immediately then separating the two as Dai callously throws Vegeta to the ground while Goku escapes onto his feet. Leading to the prince slamming face first onto the cold floor. Damn it! While Goku instead is left with a red and bleeding bruise on his forehead, for which he would begin rubbing with his hand. Fine! Vegeta, join me when you can! Leaving Goku now on his own yet again to play the protector of Vegeta this time. Tensing his muscles as he prepares to blast off into battle with Dai once again. Ferociously launching a kick right at Dai within nanoseconds, as if on behalf of the prince. But of course, only for Dai to dodge with ease, ducking down before... You will be the first on my kill list, Son Goku! Before immediately, the hand-to-hand combat would recommence, with Goku on his back foot being pushed quickly and violently back before the onslaught of attacks from the priest. Eventually leading to a final strike knocking Goku back. As the Saiyan would then take the opportunity to create some space, landing a short distance away. Kame! Only for in quick succession, the Seraphim would then attempt his signature Ki Blast. How pointless! You truly think you could overpower me? One arm is all I will need. And not looking to back down at all, using just his left arm in response, Dai would power up his own energy ball to compete. Ultimately resulting in both angelic warriors launching bright cyan beams straight towards each other, with Dai, as promised, refusing to use more than just one arm. The resultant clash of beams creating destruction all around, as each warrior would now be completely coated in their own energy attack, as if one with them. And from within this would be made even more clear, as neither fighter would barely be able to be seen anymore under the intense cyan lights. But soon enough, Dai would then proclaim, "And now you die, Son Goku!" What? Confusing Goku mid-Kamehameha as he struggles to sense what Dai could possibly mean with their energy beams so clearly equal. But as the priest would let out a sinister laugh, his body would also vanish. But where he would return would not be an ordinary location, as appearing right behind Goku, the oversized angel would already have both of his arms tensed on either side of Goku's face before...
Oh no, he pulled the Janemba.
With the
oh no, that's basically what Janemba did, bro. He
basically
basically pulled
like
that
a
on him.
watermelon. Dai would land 2 blows like a clamp on Goku's face, stunning the Saiyan immediately with the agonizing pain and crash on his eardrums. But as Goku would remain disorientated, the beam from Dai earlier would not disappear. Leaving Goku barely able to see or hear from the
oh no, Goku, get out of there!
Watching confusion.
Bro, you gotta get out.
Dai remains behind with a devilish smirk, holding him in place like Goku once did to his brother Raditz. The end result being yet another cataclysmic detonation, now Holy Cyan in color.
I don't know, maybe
Again,
he used his wings again.
giant
I don't
clouds
know.
of smoke behind, eventually rising to show Dai's wide body standing, presumably covering our view of Goku. This is what the true power of the Seraphim is like, imposter. As Dai, appearing from the smoke, would just cockily comment, looking down at where Goku is until... where suddenly something would appear amiss. Where is he? Where is Son Goku? As shockingly,
Wait, he is a transmission?
Goku
Wait, what
would
just happened?
actually be nowhere to be seen anymore, leaving Dai to look around violently from side to side, furious at his own complacency. What's wrong? I'm right here,
Wait,
Dai. But with a cold stare,
Wait, how did he get
Goku, as if
behind
having
him?
never been damaged at all, would sinisterly then appear in the priest's shadow, clinging to him as the sweat-drenched Dai would begin to tremble in confusion. What? But it wouldn't be long before, using his dual wings, Goku would make his next move and wrap them completely over the priest's body, just goadingly letting out, "You seem a little cold, Dai. You're shivering." Vegeta! Now! Before, with the priest in some sort of false sense of security, Goku would break the peace and scream out for the prince, awakening the Saiyan in the distance who had just barely gotten up.
Oh, he just now got up?
Kakarot, you actually managed to do something useful, eh? As Vegeta, knowing instinctively what to do next, would then launch at full speed with a demon face full of bloodlust, ready to get his revenge, as if he was still controlled by Lucid. Time for payback, Angel! Leaving the priest now entrapped, unable to free himself from Goku's ironclad grasp, as Vegeta, approaching within touching distance, would have his arm all the way cocked back already. But in the end, the one true Angel would be far from giving up, as suddenly, flashing both of his Seraphim eyes simultaneously, a mysterious change would take place. What? As seemingly now just becoming a ghostly apparition,
Oh, wait,
Vegeta's
what? It went
confirmed
straight
attack
through him?
would simply just phase completely through the Angel and slam into the unprepared Goku instead. Sending the winged Saiyan flying off, as the demonic Saiyan is left completely bemused, his eyes wide, as he would mutter, Kakarot, what just happened? Fools! Mortals trying to understand the power of gods. How utterly pointless! As Dai just effortlessly would reappear with his arms now folded, but somehow not looking too pleased despite his escape. Vegeta! What is your problem? Are you sure you're not Lucid? But comedically, the brute Saiyan will just yell out at the prince, his face going redder by the second. Leaving Vegeta to just awkwardly watch on and whisper out, "That was hardly my fault, Kakarot, but I'll try to react faster next time." But Vegeta's look would soon change, as he would question, "But on a serious note, what was that just now? That move the priest used? Some form of invincibility. Do you have access to that as well? Because if you don't, this could be a problem, Kakarot." And Goku, equally concerned, would just look into his palm and reply, I don't think so. Not like that, at least. Sometimes if I move fast enough, it can look like I've let attacks go through me, but I'm just dodging. With Dai, I was literally grabbing onto him. I have no idea how he did it. There has to be a drawback. Look, Vegeta! As suddenly, just as Goku would think this, a sign from heaven itself would reveal itself to the Saiyan. as when we would look back to die, although trying his best to hide it,
Man, he is
with his
sweating
arms
hard.
folded,
Okay.
quite clearly, the one true angel would actually be partially out of breath. And almost in instant reaction, jumping at their chance, both Goku and Vegeta would simultaneously hop into fighting stance, both with cocky smirks, as Vegeta would say, "Well, would you look at that? So whatever that technique was, it isn't something he can use over and over. Perfect." While Goku would say, reminiscing, "Yeah, he's tired already. Now we can attack together. Kinda like when we fought Boo, huh?" And just like that, taking their chance at the seemingly tired Dai, Goku and Vegeta would rush immediately straight at the Angel, who to his credit would just launch his hands out wide and yell, "Come, fools! 1, 2, or 3 of you, it makes no difference!" Ha! And so fighting against Dai, this time pushing the Angel back at first, Goku and Vegeta would launch their assault. Their battle extending all across the sky, seemingly never ending.
Oh, those
As the
shockwaves.
clashes
Shockwaves
be
and
heard
lightning. Okay.
from miles away. Give up! But alas, all things do eventually come to an end, and at some point, the battle would become too much for the two Saiyans, as they would be seen now on their knees and exhausted, with Vegeta mumbling, "This guy, his energy doesn't end. Kakarot, what now?" To which Goku would just whisper back, Where's Vegito? What's this?" But as the two Saiyans would panic at what they could possibly do now, a disturbance would be sensed in the surroundings.
A disturbance in the
Something
force.
strong
Okay.
had just awoken.
I'm guessing Vegito.
And indeed, not only would the ground begin to shake and dislodge uncontrollably, but the thunderous skies would return also. Whoa! What's going on? Leaving both Goku and Vegeta wary, but little would they know that this would end up the least of their surprises. What? As suddenly, on the
wait, what?
arm that had all of Lucif's energy absorbed,
Oh, he got,
inexplicably,
The Seraphim
white
feathers,
would
right?
grow just like they had on the arms of Dai. And topping it all off,
Vegeta got that
for the
now?
very first time, Vegeta would now possess a Seraphim Eye. How or why is still yet to be known until... Out of nowhere, from the ground itself, far in the distance,
'cause Vegeta
a
absorbed,
divine and illustrious
GT now.
beam of light would explode into the sky, catching all 3 of the other warriors on the battlefield by surprise. And if we know this series, it could only mean one thing. As finally
He doesn't
now
have any blow. He doesn't have
emerging
any
from the
Seraphim
remains
on him.
of GT, Royal Vegito is born.
Royal Vegeta.
His
Okay.
body, now far more contaminated it seems, by the power of Lucifer, with the darkness having spread almost all over
That's
his
interesting.
torso.
There's
While in
more
the middle,
darkness, even though he just
a
absorbed
blood-red
GT.
triangle, emulating that of the Seraphims, are seen, along with 2 black scars that run down either side of his face, just like Zeno's guards once had. His power so almighty now, the black lightning and thunder around him would now forcibly straighten, as the God Killer finally emerges, not saying a word. Until finally, when we would peer closer, we would also notice his demonic eyes have transformed. Now all three would be Seraphim eyes, but red, just like Dai's one right one.
Okay.
As looking down confidently, Vegito would explain. Enjoying your new arm, Vegeta? Consider it a gift. I have given you access to some of GT's power also. The Seraphim knowledge lives within you too, finally. With this, you should be able to access more of Lucifer's power without fear. You should be able to maintain control of yourself. Just don't go overboard. Leading Vegeta to quickly stare at his arm in shock now, having this new information. Muttering, "So, that's what this is! Just what I needed!" As now
Oh, so
clenching
Vegeta got
his
the power,
fist
but not
tight,
Goku?
with a
Okay.
smirk
Yeah,
filled
Vegeta
with
just getting all the
confidence
love, man.
and
It's
newfound power, the prince would finally be able to let loose once again. And with that said, with Lucifer now at their
Yo, why does this look so
core
similar,
without
bro?
takeover,
Look familiar.
both Nephilim Saiyans, aka half demon, half angel Saiyans, would power up uncontrollably. All the while, Lucifer within would also scream, unleashing more and more of his ungodly power into them. Ultimately leaving Goku concerned once more as he watches on at their power, thinking, it's happening again. I hope this is the right decision, Vegito. While triggered once more, sensing his elder brother's power, flexing veins on his literal face, Dai would just utter, "Keep using that detestably dark energy. In the end,
It will all be mine!
Alright, bro. Alright, guys. There you guys have it. Dude, what? Oh my gosh, dude. The Grand Priest is literally jacked. Vegito is jacked. Vegeta is jacked. Everybody's just jacked, man. It's crazy. I will see you guys in the next episode, of course. Man, this is fun. I'm gonna rate this one a solid 9 out of 10. Once again, I mean, hey, like, what do you want me to say, right? Like, this is going pretty good. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.